Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. Tonight, I am covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me, at the podcast page, and that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And there are a few different ways to listen to the show. Of course, there's the Discord, which if you're here listening to the live stream, then that's where you're at right now. But also there is the podcast and YouTube feeds. And then there is also now online radio, the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP, Digital Broadcasting, and that can be heard, the show can be heard there every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and on those nights when Troubled Minds airs, it can be heard right before that. Of course, that is the 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and that's Sunday through Thursday. So, but my show is on every 7 days a week as of right now. So at that time slot I mentioned. So there's a few different ways to support the show. Of course, sharing it with others is always appreciated. And then if you are interested in any paranormal fiction or nonfiction, I have some books for you to check out on Amazon. And then, of course, there are donation links as well, which all those links can be found in a pinned post in the Discord channel, as well as on all the podcast episode descriptions and at the podcast page. So, just recently had a donation. I'm not going to say who they are. I want to thank them though. When they hear this show, really appreciated it. And all your support is never expected, but always appreciated. Whether it's listens or sharing or buying the books or sending a direct donation to the show. Because again, there are expenses for research and hosting and just equipment here and there as well. So I think that covers all of that. Thank you all for being okay with not having a stream last night. I had a very good friend of the show on, and hope you all check out that episode where Jen and I talked about haunted objects. So that's already out there on all the feeds, and so yeah, definitely recommend that. We're going to do more of those shows whenever we can as time allows, based on schedules and all that. So, and I've already put all the links to the articles in the chat, and I will include the links to those articles in the episode description as well, at least the ones that we have time to cover today. So that being said, let me get to that right now. I have a few articles here left over from last time, and the first one here, let me get to it here. This one is from seacoastcurrent.com. This article says, "Have you eaten at these 3 haunted restaurants in New England?" That's the title of the article. And so this is just 3 brief descriptions of places that are said to have paranormal activity in them. I'm sort of starting to not care for the word hauntings just because of the negative kind of associations or baggage that comes with that term. I don't think it's always negative. So, but anyway, going to this first location here that they talk about, this one is in New Hampshire, and it's called Margaritas. It's in Concord. Apparently, it was a police station, police department, before it was a restaurant. Which means, as it says in the article here, that people were detained and kept there. And that is the thought behind the current activity, in that it's basically poltergeist activity, where objects are moved or even thrown at times. So it's definitely one of those situations where maybe don't go there if you're not interested in anything spontaneous happening, I guess you could say. But still, I wonder about that. It says that faucets will turn on and off. And then it says food and furniture will be moved or thrown. So if it's furniture, that's pretty. That's a lot of power. So that's basically all they. I mean, they have a name for who they think is there, which is George. I always wonder about these names that people give to whoever is causing the activity, because I wonder, is it just a name that they give at random, but also is there some kind of contact that they're not even aware of when they give the name? Maybe it's actually the person. If it's a person, maybe it's actually their name, and the people there that are experiencing the paranormal activity, they just sort of receive that or pick that up from the energy around them. I think that's always a possibility. So that's margaritas in Concord, New Hampshire, and Mexican food right there. So, which I'm always a big fan of when it's done well. So this next one here is located in Freeport, Maine, and it's the Jameson Tavern. And it mentions that there are a couple of different apparitions seen there, apparently on a regular basis. But also there's a couple of... Now, it was built in 1779, so that's some history, especially for the U.S. That's a good ways back. And apparently in the front, in a couple of the hallways in the front, there are a couple of old tombstones. I'm wondering what that's about. If they're real, or if they're based on real ones nearby. That's always a question, because I would hope it's not real ones, unless they were found, maybe, I don't know. It had to be, the circumstances have to be, the details. I would need to know the details on that before I'd be sure of how to feel about that. But there are two apparitions seen there on a regular basis. One appears to be a man in a top hat that stands near the entrance of the bar, and there's also a little girl that runs around, and she's wearing a dress. So a couple of neat sightings there, and it sounds like it's fairly often. So and again, these are all just really quick mentions here in this article. This next one is in Massachusetts. I'm wondering if Derek has ever heard of this place. It's called Rockefeller's, located in Salem, Massachusetts, which is known to be the most haunted city in New England, it says. Which there's different reasons for that, but anyway, it says, according to Mass Live, which is another news outlet, I guess, people that walk by the building have noticed orbs floating around in the second-story window, as well as a full figure seen there as well. And so that's all they have there about that. Maybe fun to look into these places more on your own to see what else you can find out about them. But it does, I mean, restaurants, I'm starting to think now they need to be added to that list, especially places that have been around for a long time, or whether they were always a restaurant or if they were something else beforehand. Like in the one of those cases where it was a police station originally. So I think the older the building is, the more chances you have of it being several different things, which may also be a reason why there's activity there. So, neat article, just with some quick descriptions of some haunted places. So, moving on to the next article here. This one is from probably 1045, I'm guessing, 1045theteam.com. And this one says, haunted Airbnb in upstate New York will give you chills after your stay. Now, this is a part of a trend that I've been seeing happen over the years here, where these Airbnb, these Air Bed and Breakfast, basically, is what I believe it stands for. There's these places all over the country, and I think parts of the world. But there's this sort of this paranormal tourism market that's happening now, and where some places will actually advertise that they're said to be haunted, have paranormal activity going on there. So, the place that they're talking about in this article is called, let's see here, the House on Center Street. And they have that, apparently that is the name and the website and everything. It has a link there. And it says that, now the first guy's name is Zach, but it's not Zach Baggins, it's a different one. But Zach says that his home is allegedly also the home of 36 spirits. That's quite a bit. But they have done some research into the area, and as well as the paranormal aspect of the house. And that is something I wouldn't mind doing if I thought I had activity in a place and didn't have to stay there 24/7. I wouldn't. If I ever get rich, it might not be out of the question to, if I found out about a place that was near me that I could buy, where I could just visit, not have to live there necessarily, but just visit and just check it out every day or every other day. I wouldn't mind doing that, but that's just me. It says a few of the things that they've encountered there are disembodied voices, shadow figures, and cold spots throughout the home. I'm hoping that they were able to verify that, make sure that those cold spots were not just drafts or anything like that. So the article says that Zach was a skeptic, so I'm guessing he probably looked into that. This gives the location here. It's in Waterloo, New York, and yeah. So not a ton on the activity there, but shadow figures and then voices. That's still a fair amount on its own. So another neat article about another neat place to stay or visit, and check it out for yourselves. So this last one here, not last one, but it's the last of the articles I had left over from the last show, new show that I did. And this is about a museum in Oklahoma. And let me get back to the article here. This is from KUAP-DB.com. I've actually featured some of the more than a few stories from that website on this show. And this one says, this Oklahoma museum is one of the most haunted and paranormal places in the state. And this is talking about, let me see here. I gotta find so this is in northwest Oklahoma. And it's, let's see. So just going into, okay, so this is about the Cherokee Strip Museum in Alva, Oklahoma. And this is a museum. The museum was originally built, it says, back in the early 1930s. It served as a hospital for many years, apparently before it became a museum. And so there you go, you have hospitals. That's always it's one of those places on that frequently active sites sort of thing. Hospitals, hotels. Again, I'm thinking of adding restaurants to that list now. Just a personal list I have of common places that are said to have paranormal activity. So this museum has all kinds of amazing exhibits, it says, uh, displays and historical artifacts. Mentions that it has Native American pieces, as well as World War II items. And let's see here. Mentions that in addition to the part of Oklahoma having a major Native American presence in history, it was also used as a prisoner of war camp, apparently, during World War II, and from 1943 to 1945. So that's apparently where those two subjects come from, I'm guessing, for the museum. So it mentions that, let's see, get into the rest of this here. So people have reported seeing actual apparitions, shadow figures, and orbs. So that's a lot of visuals there. They've also seen objects move on their own and lights turning on and off by themselves. Some people have also felt like they've been touched by disembodied hands and also heard voices, and including screaming and all kinds of other noises. So, yeah, it seems like it there's all kinds of activity there, and it sounds like it. So, let me see here. So it gives the location and address of this museum, so you can all go, if you're ever in the area, you can all go check it out for yourselves. So, that's the article here. And that's the last of the articles left over from the last news show. So this next article, it's sort of just the latest in a long line of a trend of reports in the realm of paranormal movies or horror history, in that apparently on one of the sets of the latest Ghostbusters movie, which is actually in the UK, where the set is actually at, and it's actually a real place. I just said the word 3 times. Anyway, it's a real place. And let me see here. Get back to the article. The name of the article or the website is dailymail.co.uk, and of course the title of the article is "Who You Gonna Call? Ghostbusters film crew are spooked by weird noises and believe they are being haunted by ghosts on eerie set in tube tunnel." And so this is part of the London Underground, literal underground complex of tunnels underneath London in the UK. And this is the most recent, basically filming of the most recent Ghostbusters movie, which is still in production. It says that according to reports, several members of the crew have reported hearing strange noises on set. And these are in abandoned tube tunnels near Westminster in central London. And these sounds are heard at night. So, and it mentions these tube tunnels, or these tunnels are now not in use anymore. They've been chosen as the perfect setting for this movie. So, it says that people have been hearing really weird noises, and it's freaking people out. Apparently, there have been claims of paranormal activity in the general underground itself, and also just in the area. It says that some sites have been built on top of ancient burial grounds, which makes sense that there might be activity there, because that's the thing. People, that's having an undisturbed resting place. It's called a resting place, I think, in a way, for a reason. So it makes sense to me in that way that there would be activity there if that's the case. Let me see here. So it mentions that commuters have reported seeing apparitions in the tube, including a woman at King's Cross, an ancient Egyptian princess at Holborn. I've heard of that one, actually. It says near the abandoned British Museum station, which, yes, I have heard of that one. They thought that because the British Museum is home to a lot of Egyptian artifacts, and so I could sort of see that in a way. Also, near the Liverpool Street station, a man in overalls is said to walk the tracks there. So, it goes into a lot of just the general area of other stations in the area said to have paranormal activity. So, and it goes into the history of the whole movie franchise. And so I'll let you all check it out from there. But I can understand why some people, if they hear about sort of a haunted movie set or a movie that is about the paranormal having activity, just thinking that it's being done for promotion purposes. And I don't discount that's a possibility, but also it's just there's such a history of that, whether it's during or during filming or after that you hear about it. There's all kinds of stories about that. Poltergeist movies, I mean, just all kinds of things. Even the first Conjuring movie. So I've heard of stories about that as well on different podcasts. So I don't doubt that's a thing that can happen when you're making something that is about the topic. Maybe that could draw energy towards the area, and you've got all those electronics of all the devices being used to make the movie, to record the movie. Yeah, that makes sense in a way that this could happen. So, especially given the surroundings that they're filming in. So, but just thought that was a neat article there. And looks like we're already almost out of time, so that'll be the last article we cover for today. And I'll save the rest for next time. Plans for the rest of the shows this week. Tomorrow will be, actually tomorrow and then Wednesday will be true paranormal stories from the web. And then Tuesday will be more paranormal news. Since we did a different show yesterday, I'm going to make sure we still get 2 of the true paranormal stories shows in this week. Because I always like to do that whenever possible. So, next week, I'm just thinking ahead here, there will be a show on the Myrtles Plantation. Again, that's one I did a little while back, but the recording didn't work, so have to redo that one. And that'll be one of those weekdays next week. So, something to look forward to maybe. And next week is also going to be this month's roundtable show on that Wednesday night, which is not a live stream, but it will be available for you all to listen back to by Thursday morning. So that's it. That's going to do it for today. Thank you all for listening and being here, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow with some true paranormal stories from the web on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone.